in Addison on a cool and overcast autumn evening. We're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Under the lights tonight, it's the first of a season-ending 7-game homestand, and the Pirates and Cubs will play 4 times over the next 3 days. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs barely alive in the wild card race. Their elimination number is down to 1, but they're playing pretty good baseball. They won 6 of their last 8 on the last road trip.
Yeah, it certainly may be too little too late, but there's nothing wrong with finishing the season strong, and the Cubs have done that down the stretch. Their last 8 ball games, they're 6-2. That runs per game, always a significant number. When the Cubs score more than 4, they're 50 games over 500 this year.
Good chance to finish the season strong against the Pirates and the Diamondbacks, 2 teams that are under 500, and the Cubs have just dominated the Bucs this year.
In every way possible, especially with the pitching, Len. When you have good starting pitching at the major league level, you're going to dominate those younger teams.
And continuing the theme of finishing strong, that's been the case for Ryan Dempster.
Yeah, spent some time on the disabled list with that toe injury, but he's making up for lost time here in the month of September. He has been dealing his last 4 starts 2-0 and pitched well enough to win the other 2 starts. The ERA just over 2.
The Pirates have had a rough year, but they did just win 3 of 4 at home against the Dodgers, who should be wrapping up the NL West here very shortly. We're at Wrigley Field tonight. The Cubs hosting the Pirates. Coming up next. You're watching the Chicago Cubs on WGN TV. Chicago Cubs baseball in beautiful high definition is sponsored by Comcast. Mentioned Ryan Dempster starting for the Cubs tonight, and they'll be facing a former teammate, right-hander Kevin Hart, who had pretty decent numbers with the Cubs before being dealt to the Pirates. And it's been a rough time for Kevin.
Boy, no question about it. His last 6 starts with the Pirates, he's 0-6 in 32 innings pitched. He surrendered 42 hits and 27 runs. has pitched much better, at least statistically. The numbers would say he's pitched much better as a reliever, but the Pirates view him as a starting pitcher.
So the Cubs take the field behind veteran Ryan Dempster. If he can get to 7 innings, or at least average 7 innings over his final 2 starts, he'll get to 200 for the season. So as the right-hander gets ready, here's the Pirates lineup, led by Andrew McCutchen. A couple of Rookie of the Year candidates. McCutchen in that one spot, Garrett Jones third in between. Andy LaRoche, who went 5 for 5 yesterday with 2 homers against the Dodgers. Doman catches. Lastings Millage is in left. Brandon Moss over in right. Delwyn Young plays second. Luis Cruz has been in there for Ronnie Cedeno, been bothered by some hamstring problems. And the aforementioned Kevin Hart hitting none.
And let's check out the Cubs defensively tonight behind Ryan Dempster, brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, refresh everything. Off power, Fuld and Fukudome across the outfield. Jeff Baker once again playing third base for Aramis Ramirez. Terrio and Fontenot up the middle of the field. Derek Lee back in the lineup at first base. Had some neck issues on that last road trip. Good to see him back in the lineup. Giovanni Soto will be doing the catching tonight for right-hander Ryan Dempster. You mentioned his last 4 starts. He's been really good. A victory over the Pirates, a victory over the Brewers, and then a no decision against St. Louis and San Francisco, but certainly pitched well enough in both of those ball games to win.
Now the umpires, Bill Welke will call the balls and strikes. Michigan native James Hoy at first. Bill's brother Tim, the crew chief, is at second, and Jim Wolf over at third. Before we start, bad news for the Cubs today is setup man Kevin Gregg had an MRI in his left rib cage yesterday. Has a crack in that area, and that's not good, and he will not pitch the rest of this week, which means he's done for the season as McCutchen bounces it foul. Cool temperatures tonight. Wind not blowing hard, but when it does, it blows in. 55 degrees, and the wind out of the northeast at 4 miles an hour. But we came prepared. We're bundled up, and it looks like most of the fans are too. I think we'll have to be bundled up the rest of the week.
Yeah, it looks like it. The high temperature is supposed to be in the low to mid 60s. Of course, dropping well below that by game time here on the north side, but that's all right. Always baseball weather.
The key is that we stay dry. We can deal with the cold. One and two on Andrew McCutchen. Six for 9 with 5 runs over his last 2 games, but now 6 for 10 as he went around. That's a strikeout for Dempster.
Check swing on a slider down low and away. McCutchen went too far in the estimation of home plate umpire Bill Welke, and that will bring the hottest Pirates hitter to the plate. Andy LaRoche is rolling. He's hit safely in his last 14 starts, 3 homers in his last 3 games, including a 5 for 5 yesterday.
2 doubles, 2 homers, 13 total bases in their 11-1 win over the Dodgers. One hopper is fielded by Terrio, and he has time to throw across and get LaRoche. So 2 up, 2 down. Garrett Jones coming up, a big-time Rookie of the Year candidate, along with Andrew McCutchen, and Randy Wells will get excellent consideration too. In the case of Jones, he didn't even start his major league season until late June when he got called up. 21 home runs. He's going to fly out to Michael Hoffpower. That's a quick 1, 2, 3 for Dempster. The Cubs are coming up when we come back. Refresh everything. Theriot, Fukudome, and Derek Lee. Good to see Derek back in the lineup. Had the neck problem over the weekend. Michael Hoffpower cleaning up. He's in left. Jeff Baker in for Aramis Ramirez at third. Baker was going to play second. Now it's Mike Fontenot. Soto's catching. Fold in center. Dempster does the pitching.
Take a look at the Pirates defensively. Pretty good outfield as far as the assists go. McCutcheon in center with 10 outfield assists. Moss with 9 in right. Millage with 5 in left. Got LaRoche, Cruz, Young, and Jones across the infield. Ryan Domit, the closest thing they have to a veteran on this team, will be behind the plate today for former Cub right-hander Kevin Hart. See that lofty opponent's batting average. And well better than a hit and inning surrendered. The 40 walks always a concern with Kevin Hart.
Coming off a tough one against the Reds. A season low 4 1/3 as a starter, and a season high 8 runs allowed in a loss 6 days ago. Here's his 1-0 pitch. 2-0 to Ryan Theriot. Comes in at 285. Fairly quiet road trip at 229. He did score 4 times. And had the game-winning RBI on Friday in San Francisco. 3-0.
Where the Riot has banged the Pirates throughout the course of his career. Minimum of 150 plate appearances. Only Albert Pujols has better numbers against the Buccos than Ryan Theriot.
Alfonso Soriano on that list too. That's the first strike from Hart. He was born in Cleveland, but he's bounced around a lot. Family moved quite a bit when he was younger. Now lives in Plano, Texas in the offseason. That's low, ball 4. And that right there, Bob, has been Kevin Hart's biggest problem in the majors.
No question about it, Len. We mentioned better than a hit per inning, which most pitchers can work around. But when you're walking guys ahead of those base hits or behind those base hits, you constantly find yourself in jams, put a lot of pressure on your defense. And that's kind of been the story of Kevin Hart's major league career. Just the inability to consistently find a good release point.
It's his 63rd career walk in under 116 innings. As he faces Kosuke Fukudome. Kosuke with a 6-game hitting streak and had an excellent road trip. A day-night doubleheader tomorrow. It's a makeup doubleheader, and we'll have the afternoon game at 1 o'clock right here on WGN. And it'll be Ted Lilly against Charlie Morton. That's ripped into the right field corner. It's fair. Kicks off the sidewall. Theriot on his way to third, where he'll be stopped by Mike Quade on a Fukudome double.
I'm starting to change my scouting report on Kosuke. I always felt he was a pretty good low ball hitter, but recently he's been picking on those high fastballs and tomahawking that pitch into right field. That was a good bounce off the side wall for the Pirates and Brandon Moss out there in right field. I thought that ball was going to go all the way to the vines, allowing Theriot to score.
So Derek Lee back in there. Suffered neck spasms Thursday night in San Francisco. This is his first action since then. Ball 1 inside to Lee. 3 hits away from 1,700 in his career. Already a new career high in RBIs with 109. And you have to say this is a pretty good opportunity with 2 in scoring position and no outs. Domit knocked it down, but he didn't know where it was. That bounced way in front of home plate. And then off Domit.
Well, the first breaking ball that Kevin Hart has thrown in this ball game, and it hit well out in front of home plate. Looked like it hit Domit right on the chin guard of his mask. We'll get another look at it here. Actually, it hit him in the chest protector and came up underneath his mask, knocking it off his head. He had no idea where that ball was initially.
The kick, the 2-0 pitch, a breaking ball for a strike. Hart has had trouble throwing his fastball for strikes here in the first inning. Really got in on Derek that time. 2-2.
Boy, and a lot of sinkers, a lot of sinking two-seam fastballs for Kevin Hart in the low 90s here in the early going. You may remember when he was a member of the Cubs, his signature pitch was that cut fastball. Out over the plate, moving away from the right-handed hitters. We haven't seen him throw one of those yet.
Full count, 3-2 with Hoffpower on deck. Not so sure Kevin Hart's going to throw Derek a strike. First base open, even though there are no outs. He knows the kind of damage Derek can do.
No question about it. He's seen it up close and personal. And Ryan Doma, with that in mind, wants to make sure he knows exactly what Hart's going to try to do with this 3-2 pitch. He's had the goalie up back there a couple of times already in this game.
Veteran pitching coach Joe Kerrigan looking on from the visitors' dugout. Here is that payoff pitch. He struck him out, got him on a breaker. That's a big first out for Kevin Hart.
Not only did it get him on a breaking ball, on a bad breaking ball. It appeared to be a slider or a curveball that just stayed up in the zone, never really took the break that he was looking for. And Derek swings right through it.
Michael Hoffpower with a homer and 2 walks against Hart. Bouncer to Jones. Nice play. The Cubs will get the first run, and Hart dropped it. Everybody's safe. It's 1-0, and still only 1 out. An RBI for Hoffpower and an error on Kevin Hart. The one thing the Pirates have done really better than anybody in the league is play defense, but not on that play.
A terrible throw to first base. It did hit Hart in the glove, however. And the error will be given to Kevin Hart, but you'd like to see a better toss than that from your first baseman. Something up around chest high where that pitcher can just continue on through the bag, get the out, and get out of the way.
The Pirates entered play today with 70 errors, tied for the fewest in all of baseball with the Twins. And a strike on Jeff Baker. And the Cubs now have scored in the first inning. In 4 straight games against the Pirates, the Cubs have won 6 straight in the season series. Another one kicked away from Domet. 1-1. Put yourself in Domet's shoes here for a second, catching a guy who's been all over the place. And even if you get one that's actually a good pitch, looks like he's getting fooled by those too. Just don't know what to expect.
Well, Domet, he's a little rough around the edges to begin with behind the plate. He's more of an offense-minded catcher. But, yeah, when you're catching a guy who's so erratic on the mound, you feel like every pitch is 3-2 with a runner at third base in a tie game. You end up boxing those balls on the edges of the strike zone because you're ready to block everything.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, like Jeff did Kevin Hart a favor. And they really bunched the middle in the outfield. We've talked about it all year. The Pirates pretty much give up the lines, especially in left. So they try to close the gaps. Ground ball, fair into that left field corner. This will be a long run for Millage. Fukudome is in. Hoffpower trying to score. He will easily. And it's a 2-run double for Jeff Baker.
We just showed you that bunched outfield. The Pirates like to play their corner outfielders closer to the gaps than the line. And the Cubs have made it hurt the Pirates a bunch of times this year already. This is the most recent one. Blasting Smilage with good speed out there in left field, but he can't get from his position to that baseball before Micah Hoffbauer comes around and scores from first base.
Well, the 2 hits the Cubs have had this inning have been right down the line, in right and then in left. Like Fontenot, fastball strike. Well, that error by Kevin Hart looming very large. He's having trouble throwing strikes. He's been hit hard a couple of times, and they had an easy out at first base. But that's how it goes when you're 59-96. For the Pirates, this is now an all-time record in all the major sports, a 17th consecutive losing season. They're 1-16 in their last 17 games on the road. And they have to go 4-3 to avoid a 100-loss season.
You know, the Pirates have the worst road record in all of baseball going into play tonight. Only 19 wins against 55 losses on the road.
3-1. He's behind again. They're 14th in the National League in ERA. Last in runs. Again, the one thing they do well is pick it. But a key error already here in the first. I think what really illustrates the Cubs' 9-2 record against the Pirates. Look at that in the first inning. They had a game in Pittsburgh earlier this year. The first 8 guys all had hits.
And that was a Ryan Dempster start because he was the only Cub, or not the only Cub, but the first Cub to make an out on a sacrifice bunt in that first inning.
So both outs have been strikeouts for Hart. And he'll face a former battery mate, Giovanni Soto. Blowing outside. The playing time hasn't been that consistent for Soto. It's been sharing time with Coy Hill. Cubs have not gotten a ton of production offensively from the catcher position, so it's kind of come down to defense, and Coy Hill's had a really good year throwing out base stealers. That's why he's grabbed a lot of that time back there. Ted Lilly will start game 1 tomorrow. Looks like Coy Hill may be chatting with him about the approach. I'm guessing Coy would catch game 1 and Soto game 2 tomorrow night.
One thing you can be sure of from Coy Hill, even when he's not swinging the bat well, and Coy's never been known for his offense, he's going to bring his A game defensively, regardless of what happens at the plate. I think there have been times this year where Giovanni Soto let his offense bleed over into his defense a little bit.
Took a home run swing, and that evens the count at 2-2. Down the right field line, but it's going to land just out of play.
Good emergency swing that time by Soto. Kevin Hart has thrown him a couple of pretty good breaking balls in this sequence, and that last one was going to be a called strike, and Gio at the last minute just stuck his bat out there and got a piece of it to stay alive.
Baker knocked in 2 with a double. He's at second. And another 2-2 pitch missed away. And it's full 3-2 with Sam Fuld, the center fielder, on deck. How about a walk for Soto and a 3-run homer by Fuld, who's still looking for his first career RBI. Get it out of the way in big fashion. There's an opportunity. It's a second walk for Hart. They'll bring out Joe Kerrigan. At this point in the season, Bob, about 155 games in, does a pitching coach have to get creative in terms of what he says to a guy who's not throwing strikes?
Oh, especially if he's exhausted all of his catchphrases and his cliches and the guy still isn't throwing strikes. Yeah. Well, you have to come up with something new just to get their ear so they'll listen to you.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop. Good road trip for Sam. 4 for 9 with 3 walks and 3 runs. Chokes up very slightly on the bat. Big swing, 1-1.
You talk about the advice of a pitching coach at this point in the season. That's why I was always a big fan of former Pirate pitching coach Ray Miller. His philosophy was very simple. Work fast, throw strikes, change speeds. You go to the mound and say, are you working fast? Yep. Okay, good. You changing speeds? Not enough. Well, then start changing speeds a little more. Are you throwing strikes? No. We'll start throwing strikes.
That's a good way to do it. Ask questions.
Yeah.
And that's never a good sign for a starting pitcher in the first inning. They're already doing their arm exercises in the bullpen. Back grounder to Jones, who gobbles it up. Hart covering this time. They handle it flawlessly, and the inning is over, but the Cubs send 8 to the plate and score 3 times. They have the early 3-0 lead. Hey, podcast fans, Bob and I recorded a new podcast in San Francisco on Sunday. It's up for viewing downloading, and of course enjoying on WGNTV.com. Just go there, click on the sports header, and look for the link. The smiling logo, Lemon Bob.
Jeez.
A 3-0 lead for Ryan Dempster. One of those runs was unearned because of the Kevin Hart error. As Dempster works in the second through just 7 pitches in the first. And a strike to Ryan Doman. I'm sure would like to take out some first inning frustrations here at the plate. You talked about taking your offense to your defense. As a catcher, does it work the other way? And in any way, in a positive way? Or do you have to completely separate the two?
Well, for me personally, you had to separate the two. I mean, you knew you were going to have nights behind the plate that were going to be a grind. If you catch somebody that throws a hard splitter or throws a lot of sinkers in the dirt, you knew on those nights you were going to have a rough night behind the plate, so you just tried to mentally prepare yourself for it. And when you went back to that dugout and took the gear off, try to think like a hitter.
A rainbow to right for Fukudome. And the first out.
And on the other side of the coin, if you're having a good night offensively, swinging the bat, got a couple hits early in the game, maybe went deep or something like that, you can't afford to get lackadaisical on defense. Just because you're seeing the ball well out of the other pitcher's hand, you may still have to battle against your own pitcher on that night.
The funny thing is, mine's a little bigger. I have the same outfit in terms of my winter pajamas that I might have to pull out this week.
Toasty and warm.
Yeah, I like the one piece. You know, it's just a zipper and that's it. Don't have to wear socks or anything. 2 strikes on Lastings Millage. Oh, mine's Cubs blue too. It's not yellow. And yes, I do have the ears.
And the tail.
And the tail. The 1-2 from Dempster. Low and outside. Easy choice. Well, you can cram tonight after the game, right? Unless the exam's at like 11 o'clock tonight. There's still time.
Between innings, got a couple minutes, you can hit the books.
The 2-2 pitch. That's hit deep to center. Sam Fuld on his horse. Gets under it. Nice play. That ball was crushed.
The wind blowing straight in here tonight at Wrigley Field. Not real hard, but certainly enough to affect a high fly ball. Sam Fuld got a great jump from his shallow position, ends up going straight back toward the wall before squaring up and making that catch just as he got to the warning track. Ooh, almost snuck out of there.
Brandon Moss looks at a strike. Moss just 3 for his last 22. Came over last year from Boston in the field at St. Jason Bay for the Red Sox, and Manny Ramirez to the Dodgers. A couple of guys in their lineup tonight who came over in that deal. Andy LaRoche came over from the Dodgers.
There from Giovanni Soto, took one up underneath the catcher's mask, very similar to the one Doman got earlier in the ball game on a pitch in the dirt.
2-2, that's high. Switch hitting Delwyn Young on deck. He would bat if Moss gets on. A win tonight for Dempster would be the 87th of his career. He also has 87 career saves. Ball 4. And he would become the second active pitcher to have at least 87 wins and 87 saves. John Smoltz, 213 wins, 154 saves.
Crazy good numbers at home for Ryan Dempster. Not quite so good on the road. That's the largest differential by any active pitcher.
And a lot of those wins came in a pitcher's ballpark in Florida. And Ryan, I think, had 14 home wins last year. Oh, 0-1 to Delwyn Young. Now 14 of his 17 wins last season came at home. Most Wrigley Field wins by a Cubs pitcher in a single season since tonight's 7th inning stretch guest Fergie Jenkins won a club record 15 in 1967. Moss, the first base runner for the Pirates. Pretty short lead. Just missed the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Well, you can see the value of getting ahead in the count. Dempster has tonight, and Kevin Hart has not. The Cubs lead 3-0.
Well, it changes the kind of swings that an offense takes against a pitcher, depending on whether they're ahead or behind in the count.
It's lofted into right. And that'll send Moss all the way to third. Not hit terribly hard by Young. Just kind of feathered into right for their first hit.
It's not a bad pitch. You can see where Giovanni Soto was going to receive that pitch down low and away from Young. He just went out and hooked it back into right field. The soft line drive, chasing Moss around to third base.
Dempster has thrown 7 first pitch strikes as he faces the number 8 man, Luis Cruz. He's playing short. Ronnie Cedeno has been bothered by a couple of bad hamstrings. So Ronnie has missed 5 straight games, and Cruz has hit in 5 in a row, filling in at short. There's the former Cub. Sixth start in the final one of September for Dempster. He has a 1.73, so he'll get a lot of pitcher of the month votes. Looking for his 3rd win here in September. And he's slated to pitch the season finale on Sunday against Arizona. Still 1-2 to Cruz. Moss walked with 2 outs, and Young singled into right. And another 1-2 to Cruz. Fly ball right field, right at Fukudome. That's it. We'll have to get that number 8 hitter so Dempster can start the next inning against the pitcher. But the Cubs are coming back on offense, leading 3-0. Cubs baseball in high definition is sponsored by Comcast. Ryan Dempster leading off the Cubs second. The home team up 3-0. Cubs are 14 over here at home, 44-30. Fourth best home record in the National League. In their last 4 home series of 3 or more games, they've gone 3-0-1. It's like Dempster's wearing that new helmet again. You're wondering if his head literally has gotten bigger. No. The helmet has. 3-1.
Like Gazoo from what is it, the Flintstones. Just needs a couple of antenna on top. Be ready to go.
And after that one, 3-2. You know, one of the things they could do with the new helmet, if players think it's too big, is put a strap on it. I think that was David Wright's problem, is he kept feeling like it was going to fall off.
That'll happen.
Well, if it's safer, you got to consider it. Out into shallow right and caught. As Moss was playing in, so you scoff at my idea. You don't think that players would go for it? No. Go back to Little League with the strap.
We're all about safety. You know, we want to make sure everybody gets through the season without suffering any head injuries, but wearing a chin strap just ain't cool. You know, you got to look cool.
Those helmets will be mandatory in the minor leagues next year. Terrio pushed off the plate.
I think rather than improving the armor and requiring everybody to wear it, why don't we teach our guys to get out of the way of inside pitches? Seems to me like that would be the way to go. You know, we're putting flak jackets on little leaguers, elbow guards, knee guards, helmets with chin straps and cages on them. Why not just teach them to get out of the way?
That missed. 2-1. You've talked about that a lot in the past, and Ron Santo has talked about that. And the one time he couldn't get out of the way, he got hit in the face. But I seem to recall he admitted he was leaning, looking outside, and the pitch got up and in on him. It was pretty devastating. He had a long hitting streak. I think he only missed a day, maybe 2 at the most.
Piano Lounge is open.
3-2. Good to have Ron back. He did not make the trip to San Francisco because of the late night travel, but he's refreshed and ready for the final week. Terrio got the rally started in the first with a walk. Cubs would go on to score 3 times. Well, in what we've seen of Kevin Hart at the major league level, and most of it as a Cub, the walks are certainly a problem, but I think the other thing, Bob, is it just takes him too long to put away hitters. You know, the walks are a problem, but he doesn't have a ton of strikeouts. In the hole, Cruz will sling it across, and Jones has to come off the bag. That'll be a hit for Terrio. And I think that's probably why Joe Kerrigan has Hart throwing the sinker more often. The idea is to try to get early contact, but it just hasn't happened tonight.
Only 5 times this season has Kevin Hart worked 6 innings. A pitch count of 118 has been his highest on the year, so he's racking up some high pitch totals in very few innings. And that speaks to what you're talking about. He gets to 2 strikes, just can't seem to put a hitter away. Foul ball after foul ball. Pitch out of the strike zone. Suddenly he finds himself in a full count. Not to mention the pace with which he works. He is very, very slow out there on the mound. And we talked about this excellent Pirates defense. I mean, the team has changed considerably since opening day, but they still play very good defense, very hustling defense, and even they go to sleep behind Kevin Hart. We'll check Ontario over there at first base. 16 out of 18 attempted base stealers have been successful this year. That's another thing he could improve upon if he's going to stick in the big leagues. He needs to give his catcher a little better chance to throw out those base stealers.
Ontario with a base stealers lead. Anytime that right foot is past the cutout part of the grass, you know a guy's looking to run. See that right foot? You get beyond that area, you've got a pretty decent lead. Fake towards second, and Fukudome took ball one. Runs this time. Here's a throw to second, right on the button. Ryan Doumit came in at 24%. And he gives Terrio his 8th caught stealing of the season.
From our Southwest Sky Cam, looked like Ryan got a pretty good jump. Just a perfect throw from Ryan Doumit. All Cruz has to do is catch that ball, and Terrio's going to be out at second base. Right on the bag.
Three and one. Just looking at a couple of numbers for Kevin Hart. First pitch strike percentage in his career, 54%. The major league average about 58%. So that means he gets behind in the count more often than the average pitcher. And he also doesn't strike out as many batters as the average major league pitcher. And he walks more than the average pitcher. So I think that kind of sums it up. He has to improve those numbers to become more effective. Millage in left for the third out. We've completed 2 from Wrigley. The Cubs lead the Pirates 3. Cubs 3, Pirates nothing. We get into the third. Hart with his first at bat. He can swing it. We talked before about Kevin putting on some shows in batting practice. Hasn't translated into success in the games. He's a converted first baseman. Played first and pitched while in college at the University of Maryland. One and two. Going back to our earlier conversation, the other question I think for the Pirates is going to be, will he be more effective as a reliever than as a starter? He was in relief when he got his first chance with the Cubs in September of '07, and he was so impressive. 8 appearances and an ERA that was under 1 that he made the postseason roster that year. But that was in relief. Fold coming on, and he has it on the move. Cubs fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape for up-to-the-minute stats and information designed to give you everything you need to know during the game. The WGN Sports Game Zone is available for every Cubs game and is brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. Slider missed outside to McCutchen. Actually, that was a fastball. Good late movement on it. Soto setting up toward the outside. That did not come back over the plate. 2-0. Well, it'd be nice to see Dent get to 200 innings. 206 2/3 last season.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those yardsticks for a pitcher, just like with a hitter. 300 is a magic number. Used to be 20 home runs. I'm not so sure what that number is anymore, but 200 innings for a pitcher, starting pitcher, is great.
2 up, 2 down, bringing up Andy LaRoche. Mister had a stretch of 3 straight years, 2000 to 2002, when he had over 200 innings. Got back to that level last season and trying to do it again this year.
Well, especially considering the time he spent on the disabled list. He's made it up with some lengthy outings to make up for the starts he missed while on the DL with that broken toe.
That's a good point. He'll have 31 starts this year, whereas last year 33. It's hammered by LaRoche, but foul. Waiting for something to happen.
Stay with us.
Like Soto wanted that pitch way down, and it was way up, but it was so up that LaRoche didn't offer at it. Rocketed past a diving Baker into the left field corner. We kind of lose sight of the field from our broadcast perch. That ball seemed to die. I don't know if it hit something and just landed right behind the mound. Look at him. Look at it here. It looked like that thing was going to roll and roll and roll, and right when it gets to the wall, it stops.
You know, there's that padding on the wall down there, and sometimes, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I think the ball gets up underneath the padding and just stops right there. At other times, it will hit the bricks below the padding and shoot fast down into that left field and right field corner. Definitely not a cookie cutter ballpark.
That's what we love about it. The pitch to Garrett Jones, right in there. Barrett Jones, Adam Dunn, Jose Canseco. Basically the final 3 months cranking a ton of home runs. At 28, he's the oldest rookie to hit at least 20 homers since Bobby Darwin with the Twins hit 22 in 1972 as a 29-year-old.
How about this, Len? Since getting to the major leagues, Jones's .596 slugging percentage was 4th in the majors, behind Derek Lee, Albert Pujols, and Matt Holliday. That's pretty heady company for a rookie right there.
He had 84 plate appearances with the Twins 2 years ago. Hit 2 homers and batted .208. Called strike 3 to end the inning. So the Pirates strand a man in scoring position. The Cubs lead 3-0. In from Iowa, cheering on the Cubs tonight. Again, their elimination number down to 1. So a Cubs loss or a Rockies win, and the Cubs would be officially out of any sort of playoff contention. And the Rockies lead the Brewers in Denver 1-0 in the 2nd inning. Chris Narveson, a lefty for the Brewers, and former Cub Jason Marquis is on the mound for the Rockies. Jason going after his 16th win, which would be a new career high, but he struggled here in the month of September. With 2-0 to Derek. He is low, 3-0.
So we were speaking about earlier with Ryan Doumit behind the plate. That's a good pitch. That appeared to be a fastball right at the knees over the heart of the plate, but he caught it funny. He was getting ready to put fingers down toward the ground to catch a ball. At the last minute, he put fingers up to catch it. And if you move your glove that much that late, most umpires aren't going to give you the benefit of the doubt on a borderline call.
Ball 4. Now it's Michael Hoffpower. Knocked walked in a run in the first inning and reached on the error by Hart. He's already thrown 60 pitches and has only gotten 6 outs. Base hit. Two on, no outs.
Crisp line drive, single into right field off the bat of Micah Hoffpower. Nice quick swing, really cut down on his stride that time. Got the front foot down and smoked that ball into right field.
He sees the ball well against Kevin Hart. Played behind Kevin a lot, now against him. Baker knocked in 2 with a double in the first. That left shoulder aggravated yet again for Aramis Ramirez. And in the final week of the season, not sure how much he's going to play. A topper off the plate. Alfonso Soriano has been with the team the last week or so, coming back from knee surgery, and hopefully he'll be as close to 100% as possible in spring training next year. I mean, that's why I went ahead and had the surgery, so he could go ahead with his rehab, and you know, theoretically could be at 100% in November, and they're going to need him to be at his best next season. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Mike Fontenot with 2 on and now 1 out. I was talking with Soriano a couple of weeks ago. You know, he worked harder this past offseason than in any previous winter. Spent a lot of time with Aramis Ramirez at the Cubs Dominican Academy. This was before the surgery. I got the feeling that he was going to go back to what he had done before and maybe not get going so early, as Cruz just dropped it. That'll be the second error for the Pirates, and they're loaded with 1 out.
As a big Mike Fontenot fan, I saw a little commotion down there when Fontenot came out into the on-deck circle. That gentleman wearing a Mike Fontenot jersey.
And the hairdo.
And the hair and the goatee. He's got it all going on. A serious Mike Fontenot fan.
Just to finish up the point, I think after knee surgery now, obviously Soriano's going to take it easy, but well, you do it a certain way and you have success, and then you change, and even if it's to work harder and then you don't have success, I think you need to kind of go back to what you did before, as strange as that sounds.
I mean, there's an old cliche that the older you get, the harder you have to work to get back to the same physical shape that you were in as a younger player. And maybe that was what was on Alfonso's mind going into this season. He wanted to work extra hard so that physically he was ready to go when the season started. But unfortunately, it didn't translate into good numbers on the field offensively or defensively. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And it could also be just a total coincidence. His performance this year might have nothing to do with his offseason regimen. He does work very hard off the field. 2-0 as Soto's in a catbird seat and pops it up. Jones will not have room. That's fortunate for Gio. Well, you get a 2-0 pitch with the bases loaded. You want to do some damage with it if you swing.
Not only Giovanni Soto, but there have been a number of Cubs hitters this year that have been given the green light 2-0, 3-1, even 3-0. I mean, that's a good pitch to hit, a tailing fastball right in the middle of the plate, thigh high. Swing got a little bit long. The barrel dragged through the strike zone, and he ended up popping it foul to the right side.
Just inside. Good to see bench coach Alan Trammell back with the team. He left on Sunday to join the Tigers' 25th anniversary reunion of the '84 champs. They got rained out last night, but they had a nice ceremony before they called the game. And Alan spoke to the crowd and thanked Sparky Anderson, his longtime manager. Well, they had just about everybody back, including your former Giants manager, Roger Craig. Tram said they had a great time. And Detroit hosting the Twins in a doubleheader, making up the game from last night. And the Twins won in 10 innings. They're within a game of first, although the Tigers lead game 2, 5-2 in the 7th. Ground ball, they'll try to turn 2, and they will pretty easily. 5-4-3, and the Cubs do not score. They lead, however, 3-0 after 3. Wow, but from behind with the hair and the jersey. Yeah, I think that's Mike Fontenot.
Definitely a resemblance.
3-0 Cubs. Dolman, Millage, and Moss for Pittsburgh. No, I didn't ask any of the Pirates people if they had to deal with a lot of the security issues around the G20 summit. But with all the bridges there, I'm sure there were a few roadblocks in terms of getting to the ballpark.
I know the fans had a lot to deal with. Saw a picture in the paper last week when the Reds were in town during the summit, and I believe the announced crowd was around 6,000. There couldn't have been more than a couple of thousand people in the stands at PNC Park, but this was extremely tough for fans to get in the vicinity.
This is how rough this season has been. They beat the Dodgers 11-1 yesterday. as Dolman draws the leadoff walk. Yet the big story in the paper there was John Russell pulling Zach Duke with 2 outs in the 9th, 1 out away from a complete game, and Russell heard it big time from the fans. And the irony is, the reason he did it, he said he wanted Duke to get a big ovation, figuring if he takes him out before the game ends, pitcher walks off the mound, gets a rousing ovation, which Duke did. But then Russell got booed. He also wanted Donnie Veal to get a little work. Donnie got the final out on 3 pitches. So not a lot of work, and Duke, who had only thrown 103 pitches, you can read between the lines, the quotes in the paper. It kind of sounded like he wanted to finish.
Yeah, Duke has 3 complete games, including a complete game shutout on the season. That was puzzling.
Village pops it up. Fontenot out, Fukudome in. Kosuke has it. Not going to be a complete game for that youngster either, I think. Good time to head home.
Oh, to sleep that soundly, huh? Now, I do believe there was a baby seat down there on the floor. I don't think they were just dropping the kid down on the floor. There were peanut shells and stale beer.
From his knees, Derek with a nice throw. Relay to Dempster. They turn it. 3-6-1 the hard way. That ends the inning. Midway in the 4th, Cubs 3, Pirates nothing. Cub fans, Len and Bob's baseball blog has joined Chicago Now. From now on, you can find the same great content from Len and Bob's blog at chicagonow.com/Len and Bob, as well as WGNTV.com. We have information on the blog about our 4th annual Len and Bob Bash at the House of Blues, brought to you by Bud Light for Chicago Cubs charities, coming up on January 14th. Off the pitching hand of Hart. It deflects to Delwyn Young. His throw is wide. And Sam Fuld is safe at first. It's an infield hit for Sammy Fuld.
Well, you would expect the Pirates to check on Kevin Hart. It looked like that ball ricocheted off his throwing hand over to Delwyn Young at second base, who then threw it away, allowing Fuld to reach. Going to come out and take a look. You get another look at this Big one hopper back over the mound. From our southwest sky cam, an even better view of Kevin Hart sticking up that throwing hand, hit off the, looked like near the thumb area, bounced right to the second baseman, but his throw is offline. Looked like with a good throw, they still get Sam Fuld at first base there.
Doesn't even need any warm-up tosses. Dempster's going to try to lay down a punt and get Fuld into scoring position. Send out congratulations to Phil and Jody Scholl from Iowa City, Iowa, celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary tonight here at Wrigley Field. Two and 0 to Dempster. Very belated birthday wish goes out to Dorothy Sutter of Woodridge, Virginia. Outside edge, 2-1. It's blanket and scarf and glove and hoodie night. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s.
Let's see if he does it on this next pitch. But after Ryan Doman gives his signs to Kevin Hart, and we know Ryan Dempster's trying to put down a sac bunt here. Watch where his bare hand goes. Oh, just hanging out there exposed. I mean, in a situation like that, catchers mostly don't like to put their hand behind their back because you want to be in a position to come out of the chute, get to that ball quickly. So I was always taught to keep your bare hand behind the glove. That way it's close to the action. You can get the ball out of your glove quickly, but you're not exposed to foul tips. And anytime a pitcher is at the plate trying to bunt, there's a good chance you're going to get hit with a foul tip or two.
I could see you wincing over there just watching her.
I mean, it used to be kind of a merit badge for catchers. Joe Garagiola Sr. tells the great joke about, what happens when two catchers shake hands. It takes a half hour to pry their hands apart because of all the broken fingers and bent fingers. Yeah, that's because back in the day they used a non-hinged catcher's glove, as Dempster will go down on strikes trying to bunt with two. Yeah, the catcher's mitt didn't have any hinge at the bottom where it would fold up and close, so you had to use both hands to make sure the ball stayed in the mitt. Well, that's not the case anymore. Most guys keep that bare hand behind their back unless it's an obvious running situation, and then they'll get it up there behind their glove where it's still protected against a foul tip.
So Dempster can't come through. Fuld still at first. And it's Ryan Theriot on the Pirates pitch out. Cubs didn't have anything going. Mike Quaddy over at third. As I look at the Pirates outfield as they continue to bunch the gaps, it's easy for us to think about all the Cubs hits this season that have gone down each line. Full fake towards second, but in the Pirates defense, I don't remember the balls that have been caught that might not have been if a guy like Millage had been playing 15 to 20 feet toward the line and left, and maybe Moss the other way and right. So the Pirates obviously believe that this configuration will take away more hits than it gives up, or at least bases.
And I think it is all predicated on your pitcher's ability to throw the ball where he wants to. Now they play Brandon Moss in right field pretty much in a straight up position for a right-handed hitter in Ryan Theriot, but they bunch that gap in left center field. And if you're going to do that, you would expect Kevin Hart to work Ryan Theriot away, force him to hit the ball into the strength of your defense. But Kevin Hart hasn't shown any ability to hit his spots whatsoever in this game. So when you overshift, I think it really exposes you unless you've got a pitcher who can hit his spots with consistency.
So Kerrigan out to chat with Hart and Doman. Tomorrow is MetLife Day here at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Pirates at 7:05. That's game 2 tomorrow night. First 10,000 fans get a Cubs Snoopy doll. Compliments of MetLife.
Talking about that overshifting in the outfield, I always come back to the Atlanta Braves. They've done it for years. They overshift to the opposite field with hitters, but you think back to some of the pitching staffs they've had in Atlanta over the years, especially going back to the Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz days. You got guys that can hit their spots. They can consistently throw the ball where they want to and force the hitters to hit the ball into the teeth of their defense.
Dome extending his hit streak to 7 with a first inning double. Ground ball bounced to Young. He drops it. Wow, the Pirates having a miserable night on defense. The bases are loaded. That could have been a double play to end the inning. An error on Young. They've committed 3.
Pretty tailor-made. Young just got a little bit ahead of himself there, thinking about the flip to second before he fully had control of that baseball, and once he dropped it, he couldn't find the handle at all.
And now Kevin Hart has to face Derek Lee with the bases loaded. Got the call on the slider or curveball. 0-1.
I think that might have been a cross-up on that first pitch, even though Doman was able to catch it and keep it in the strike zone to get the strike call. I think he was crossed up. Kind of a funny reaction to the breaking pitch. You as a catcher should know what's coming and put your catcher's mitt where you think that ball is going to end up. Actually, he just kind of chased that one out of the strike zone that time. But Hart called him out to the mound right away. I think there might have been some miscommunication there.
Here comes the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Right-hander Steven Jackson, one of the 38 right-handers they have available in their bullpen. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 righties in their pen. 2 left-handers. Gets away from Doman. Everybody holds.
He's using that new cast iron catcher's mitt. I swear, every other ball is popping out of the mitt of Ryan Doman today. I know Kevin Hart has some good late movement on his pitches, but well, you got to catch some of them. It's just a good old-fashioned clank right there.
This has been a very uncharacteristic night for the Pirates defensively. Bouncer up the middle and through. Got past Cruz. Cubs get 2. It's 5-0. Boy, it looked like Cruz was going to get there, and he just didn't. And the be a 2-run single for Lee. Gives him 111 RBIs.
Well, Cruz actually got to the spot. He just didn't come up with the baseball. He dove right over the top of that ball. Actually short-armed it a little bit. That's a play, you know, granted he had to leave his feet right there, but the ball hit him in the glove.
So a 5-0 lead. First and third for Hoffpower. Well, this is a night you want to put that ball in play as it keeps getting worse for the Pirates. I need to laugh. Their bullpen catchers took one right square in the back.
Yeah, 2 guys down there to protect him, and that ball actually hit the tarp, got around the guards, and hit the poor catcher right in the back.
Yeah, you want to put a ball in play tonight with how the Pirates are struggling. Ball got out of the bullpen.
Yeah, Hoffpower hooked that ball hard down the first baseline, foul. Past Matt Sinatro, hit the tarp, ouch, and then hit the bullpen catcher right in the back.
See what happens here. They get one safe at first. It looked to me like they were being just a little extra careful, and for good reason, because of all the defensive issues, and the extra time cost them another run. So Hoffpower gets his second RBI tonight. It's 6-0.
I think you hit it right on the head, Len. A very, very deliberate double play. Not only does Young wait back on the ball at second base, but Cruz was very deliberate coming across the bag at second, and Micah Hoffpower able to leg it out and get an RBI.
John Russell's not a happy man right now. The thing is, Bob, I don't know if this is effort, and I don't know if this is a night when John Russell is going to go off on his guys or not. It's been really ugly. Maybe it's just one of those nights. I don't know, but it doesn't look like the team that had the fewest errors in baseball coming in.
And I come back to Kevin Hart again, not to blame everything on Kevin Hart, but when you've got a pitcher that's not throwing strikes, falling behind a lot of counts, he's working extremely slow out there on the mound, it's human nature for your defense to get back on their heels a little bit. And then when a ball is put into play, they're caught by surprise. They end up either rushing a play, or in the case of that last one, being overly deliberate. Everything changes when your pitcher's working in a good rhythm out there and your defense is right in sync with your pitcher. That's when you see defensive gems made behind a guy.
Well, good to see the Cubs take full advantage tonight. 3 in the first, 3 more here in the fourth. Called strike 3. And a cutter right on the outside corner. Inning over, but all Cubs early. 6-0. brought to you by Subway. How'd you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. 6 runs for the Cubs, 3 unearned runs because of 3 Pirate errors. A 1-1 count to Delwyn Young. The Cubs are trying to make it 10-2 against the Pirates this season. Dempster's pitch a little bit away. A couple of nice articles about Brian Dempster's perseverance this season with all the off-field stress he's had to deal with, his family has dealt with in terms of the health of his daughter Riley, who was born with DeGeorge syndrome back in April, and she has required a lot of medical attention. But as he says, she has been a huge inspiration to him with how she has battled. She's doing better, but it hasn't been easy. Dempster can't get it. Hits second base and kicks into center for their 3rd hit. You know what? Ryan has not used that situation as an excuse at all. I would have to think that it had some effect on his performance, but he's finishing, as we said, with a surge, which has been good to see.
Yeah, you're right. He would never use that as an excuse, but there were many times, especially early in the season, where after he would start a ball game, he would jump on a flight, fly back to Arizona when his family was initially in Arizona after spring training, and spend some time and then rejoin the ball club. And as we talk about all the time, baseball players are very much creatures of routine. You get into a set of habits, things that you do between starts to prepare yourself for the next start. And there were many cases this year where Ryan was not able to do that, but never brought it up, never mentioned it, never used it as an excuse.
The 0-1 to Cruz, a fly in the right. Fukudome there. We'll get a pinch hitter for Kevin Hart. Switch hitting catcher Jason Jaramillo. Another rough night for Kevin Hart. 4 innings. He struggled with the strike zone and was victimized by some errors as well. He made one of the Pirates' 3 errors through 96 pitches over those 4 innings. Fergie Jenkins threw a ton of strikes, over 3,000 strikeouts and fewer than 1,000 walks. It's Fergie Jenkins bobblehead night. First 10,000 fans getting that limited edition figurine. One to Jaramillo. Full slate around baseball. Keep you posted. Phillies still have not wrapped up the National League East. They lead Houston 7-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Their magic number is 3. Way up in the air to right. Fukudome again. 2 down. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota. The Cubs with a 3.01 September ERA, best in the majors, and back to 1954, the third lowest for the Cubs. It's today's Toyota moving forward, thanks to Toyota. Two hopper to Baker as McCutchen grounds into the fielder's choice to get the out at second. And we're halfway home, bottom five. All Cubs 6-0.
Is brought to you by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
Christmas look there. Put the green with the red. Doesn't feel quite like Christmas just yet. Missing about a foot of snow, but
it did when we got off the plane the other night.
Ooh, is it windy?
Woo.
Phil DeMatre, a left-hander, facing Mike Fontenot. Cubs 6, Pirates nothing. Ground ball rolled right to LaRoche. Fourteenth appearance for DeMatre, former Cincinnati Red.
Started the season on the disabled list after having arthroscopic surgery on his left shoulder.
Soto looks at ball one. There's a report in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette online that Joe Kerrigan will return to the Pirates next year as their pitching coach.
That's a good thing.
Hasn't been a fun night for Joe. It's cranked by Giovanni Soto, but not cranked enough. Yeah, good sound as he flies to the warning track, and McCutchen the catch.
Maybe just a little too far toward that gap in left center field. We've talked about how occasionally the big scoreboard in center field will shield some fly balls from the wind. That time Soto hit it far enough to the left center field side of the scoreboard. I think the wind got a hold of that one and knocked it down. He really crunched that ball. It turns into a routine out on the warning track.
Fuld lofts, and there's a slip by Millage, and he's hurt. It'll be a blue pit for Sam Fuld. Millage probably tweaked his ankle. He slipped trying to come in on it. They'll try to walk it off.
A little floater hit out there in left field, and you can see Millage go down right away. A heads-up play by Cruz to stay with it, to get out there and get that ball and hold full to a single.
He's still not right. Really gimpy out there. And as Dempster swings at the first pitch. And McCutchen, the catch is Lastings Millage will limp off the field. A hit, no runs, 6-zip Cubs. Tonight's Honda Accord game summary. Sloppy defense by the Pirates, leading to 3 unearned runs for the Cubs. The Cubs have won 14 of their last 17 at home against the Pirates and 6 straight overall. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive a 2009 Honda Accord. The first of a 4-game 3-day series. Day-nighter tomorrow. Night game Thursday. Then the Diamondbacks are in for the weekend. Andy LaRoche deep to center. Fold watches it go off the wall. LaRoche just missed a home run. It's a double. He has 4 doubles over his last 2 games. Man, is he hot. He was 5 for 5 yesterday. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
Been picking on pitches up in the zone. That one up and out over the plate. About halfway up the wall out there just to the left of straightaway center field. We mentioned it before his first at bat of the ball game. He is locked in. He is by far the hottest Pirates hitter coming into this series, and he remains that way.
So it's their best scoring chance. Leadoff man is second, and Garrett Jones swinging and missing. Now, why would Soto go out? He gets a swing and a miss on a fastball, and he immediately popped out of his crouch. Is it something with the signs with the runner at second?
It could be, but usually it's after a number of signs with the runner at second base. This was the first pitch. I think Gio got crossed up. I think he was expecting maybe a cutter inside, perhaps a slider inside, and got that tailing fastball out over the plate.
The kick, the 0-2. He struck him out. Gets Jones swinging on all 3 pitches. Well, we have a chance to step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. You know, Bob, what the Twins decided not to do with their new park? Dome it. I was watching a little of their game today. They will, I think, host Kansas City this weekend as the Twins are trying to catch Detroit. That'll be the final regular season series ever at the Metrodome. And I think it rained out in Detroit last night. Dropped by Terrio, but still has time to get Dome it. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven were talking about how weather will be a factor for the first time in almost 20 years in Minnesota, and it will be a factor.
Oh, will
next
it
year.
ever be a factor? The cold, the wind early in the season and late in the season. Dealing with rain delays, something they've never had to do with the Dome up there in Minnesota.
Looks like Target Field's going to be a beautiful stadium. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see it in a couple of years. In the middle of the summer. Thankfully, interleague play is not in early April. Swinging strike to Millage. LaRoche at third, second Pirate to get that far. Tony Beasley, the third base coach, trying to help LaRoche. Downstairs, 2-1. Well, I think it takes away a huge home field advantage. The Twins inside the Metrodome. A lot of visiting teams have long complained about the roof, losing the ball in the roof and the ceiling. Soto makes the one-handed catch and stayed on his feet. Nicely done by Gio. That ends the inning. Bottom of the sixth. Cubs 6, Pirates nothing. A little like Beck. I like it. Seawolf this Thursday. Brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability. Top of the order against Phil DeMatre. And 2-0 misses to Terrio. 3 balls, no strikes. Wind the pitch, called a strike. Tigers trying to close out the Twins and earn a split, and that would be a big win for Detroit to get their lead back to 2 in the AL Central. 6-4 in the top of the ninth. Tying run at the plate with 1 out, but fireballing Fernando Rodney is on the mound for the Tigers. Ball 4. Justin Verlander trying to get what would be his 18th win. Ontario has been on all 4 times. A single and 3 walks. Matre has a sign from Domit. The kick, the pitch. He's gotten behind the first 2 men this inning. Well, it's been a struggle for one former Cub, Kevin Hart. How about Michael Wirtz with the Oakland A's? Michael is 6-1 with 4 saves. He has put together a career year. He leads all American League relievers in strikeouts. He has 100 in under 77 innings. Saw this note in the Trib. They used a Wall Street Journal report in July found Michael Wirtz's slider to be the most difficult pitch to hit in the majors this season. He gets a swing and miss rate that's almost 1 out of every 2 pitches.
Wow. We know
slider specialist.
Yeah, the slider specialist. We knew he had a good slider here with the Cubs, but obviously has refined it even more.
(3-2) to Fukudome. A 100 strikeouts and only 23 walks for Wirtz. Goes swing and a miss and a strikeout, and that's a double play. Strike him out, throw him out. Ontario's been caught twice. That wasn't the straight steal. That was running on a 3-2 pitch, and he was out by a mile.
They got a really bad jump over there at first base, counting on Kosuke helping him out, putting that strike in play. But when Kosuke swung through it, Ryan was dead meat at second base.
Lee with a 2-run single in the 4th. Every RBI he gets the rest of the way will be a new career high. Ask Lou his opinion, but I'd like to get yours. When you managed, Derek's at 307. Hope it doesn't happen, but if he has an 0 for 8 or 9 over the next 2 or 3 days and his average goes down to 301, 300, would you consider giving him a day off this weekend to try to help him preserve that 300 average? I know what Derek would say. Let me play. I'll finish where I finish. But as a manager at this point, when you're kind of looking at what guys are doing, do you try to protect them?
I would try to protect them, but I would always defer to the player. Like you said, knowing Derek Lee the way we do, if he was asked that question, he'd say, no, I want to play. I want to play. And he'd probably go out and get 3 or 4 hits each game. But, you know, like I was talking about the yardsticks earlier in the ballgame, certain numbers that you try to get to as a player, and certainly a 300 batting average is one of those numbers.
Almost had him out for a day or 2, and he fouled the ball off his foot, but it looks like he's okay, fortunately. Ball 4 to keep the inning alive. Micah Mater Mark Sapelson, Dan Roan, Jim Ramsey. We'll have the WGN News coming up after the game.
We went through that a little bit with Mark Grace at the end of his career after the 2003 season. Gracie had pretty much announced that he was going to retire at the end of the season, and we tried to choreograph that last week and a half of the season as best we could to make sure that Mark Grace got the recognition that we felt he deserved.
Jones takes it unassisted, and the inning is over. Cubs lead 6-0 after 6. Tonight's Bud Light Fan Cam with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. Derek Lee is out, maybe just for precautionary reasons after fouling that ball off his foot. So Bobby Scales is playing left, and Micah Hoffpower moves in to play first. 1-1 on Brandon Moss. Well, we're thrilled to have Steve Wynn, Scott McCoy, Linda Pittman, and Peter Buck from REM, the Baseball Project. All their songs are about baseball, but they're rocking. And they'll be with us at the House of Blues, presented by Bud Light, the Len and Bob Bash for Chicago Cubs charities. Make sure you check out our baseball blog, and we hope to have some more info for you before the season's over on how to get tickets right before the Cubs convention on January 14th. And yes, we'll get up there and make fools of ourselves.
Sure, why not?
For charity, we'll do that. We'll do anything.
Well, might even play the only 3 chords I know in a different order this time. Baseball Project. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You turned me on to that a while ago. Those guys are good.
Again, we'll have more information on the other band we will get for the Bash. That's bashed into the bullpen. Somebody warming up down there had to scoot out of the way. Chris Bootcheck, who had to do a boot check.
I have to do a pant check after that one. He's just minding his own business, trying to warm up to come into the ball game, and all of a sudden he's dodging line drives.
Ball almost bounced right back on top of Brandon Moss off the backstop.
We got plenty of protection behind him.
Yeah. Hey, look out. Swing and a miss. It's the 4th strikeout for Dempster, who's been pretty efficient tonight.
Good change up to Brandon Moss, gets him way out in front. That pitch had a little fading action down low and away, ends up out of the strike zone.
Delwyn Young is 2 for 2. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins will conduct the 7th inning stretch. Fellow Canadian Ryan Dempster on the mound tonight. Worked out well. Gotta find the note. In 2000, Ryan Dempster was the first Canadian-born pitcher to make the All-Star team. Since Fergie did it in 1972 with the Cubs.
He agrees with you.
You think they just have a bunch of bobblehead boxes stacked there? Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pretty impressive. Cy Young Award in '71, 20 years later, would go into the Hall of Fame. And a nice undershirt with the collar. The shortstop Cruz, slider strike. '24 wins, 30 complete games in '71 for Fergie Jenkins. This is Ryan Dempster's 30th start. Fergie completed 30 games. Nothing against Ryan Dempster, but like in the early '70s, the great ones finished what they started more often than not.
And most teams used a 4-man rotation, sometimes a 3-man rotation with a 4th guy that was kind of a floater, but that has obviously changed. Dodgers are using a 6-man rotation down the stretch to try to determine what their best rotation would be for the playoffs.
An infield pop on the left side. Jeff Baker with the catch. Here comes Fergie with the stretch.
For taking out the ball game, the Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame.
Jenkins with us in the booth as Jeff Baker hits it foul out of play. Chris Buchek from LaPorte, Indiana, is now on. 6-0 Cubs. Fergie, always a pleasure. Good to have you back here.
Thank you.
And a big year for you. And Greg Maddux, number 31, retired on May 3rd. And that was a very special day here at the ballpark.
It was a lot of fun. I know that Greg enjoyed himself because I enjoyed myself. And it was good seeing some of the guys. You know, Randy was here along with Jody Davis and my best man, Glenn Beckert. I mean, Bruno was one of the best guys I played with. I mean, besides Billy and some of the. I mean, Bruno was just he touches your heart when you play with him.
It's a strike at the knees, 0-2 on Jeff Baker. 2-run double for Jeff in the first inning. Buchek from the stretch with nobody on. That's low and outside. I love the 1969 Cubs jacket. That is outstanding.
I have a leather one, but it was getting a little chilly tonight, and I was signing autographs earlier. I said, I need to buy a coat. So I had to break down and buy another Cub jacket.
I like it.
So, but it's a nice jacket.
You had to buy that? They didn't just hand it to you off the rack?
No, they didn't. Unfortunately, it was $100, but I got it for $70.
Oh, there you go.
So it worked out okay. I think the Cubs they got a new face they're putting on this team now. A lot of younger players get a chance to play.
McCutchen drifting, and he gets it right in front of the warning track. Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Tell us about that day.
Oh, sensational. I had
Join me in welcoming up to the microphone
and,
Hall of Famer.
It was just a great day to come out and be honored by a great organization, Cub organization. And as I said, I mentioned it. Most of my career I played for the Wrigley family, but it was good to be here and to celebrate it with another great pitcher, Greg Maddux.
Mega Millions can find you every Tuesday and Friday. Mega Millions, have fun responsibly. Here's Mike Fontenot's swing and a foul.
Well, Fergie, where did that great portrait end up?
I have it in my foundation office.
Okay.
So it's being portrayed. Everybody that comes in the office got a chance to see it.
Very nice.
Speaking of the foundation, the Holiday Heroes Foundation for Children's Memorial Hospital. Sounds like a great cause.
It is. I mean, whenever you can donate money to a children's hospital and have it work for you, I think that's sensational.
Ooh, I bounced that one hopefully off the protected area, but even sometimes you hit the pad, it still hurts.
Well, that pad's on there for a reason, to protect an area that he's already injured, and you're right. Even if you hit that protective guard, it'll rattle your teeth.
So for more information on the Holiday Heroes program, the foundation buys birthday and holiday gifts for sick children at the hospital. It's P.O. Box 30170, Chicago, Illinois 60630. And for credit cards, you can call 773-544-7444. And with any $50 donation, Fergie, you will send either an autographed baseball or a Cubs mini helmet.
Definitely.
Very nice.
Right.
You know, a lot of the Cubs players have done work for a Children's Memorial Hospital over the years. And again, it's a wonderful cause, great facility. As Fontenot breaks his bat, a one bouncer to Cruz. 2 outs. We got to ask you about Ryan Dempster, fellow Canadian, who in 2000 was the first Canadian-born pitcher to make the All-Star team since you did in 1972. And I'm sure you have a special relationship with Ryan because of your heritage.
Oh, definitely. I see Ryan in the spring, and I'm always asking how he's doing, progressing in the right direction, and what his outlook is going to be like when the season starts. And I know last year he had a sensational season. This year was a little slowed up by some nagging injuries, but I think he can get it back together again. And I mean, he is a guy that just challenges the hitter, and this is what you need to do. I mean, pitching to contact is what young pitchers got to learn how to do, because you can't pitch around it. You have to attack the hitter.
And you bring up a great point, Fergie, because everything Ryan Dempster throws is moving. He doesn't throw anything straight,
no.
so you know why
He's
not
got good
challenge?
movement, good movement, late movement, and he lets the hitter know that. I'd like to see him pitch a shutout tonight too. I'm not sure if Lou's going to let him stay in the remainder of the game, but he's pitching an awful strong ball game.
96 pitches. He'll have to remain efficient to get through 9, but he certainly has a chance. And as we said going into this start, if he averages 7 innings in his last 2 starts, and he'll go again on Sunday, he'll get to 200 innings on the year, which I know would be important to Ryan.
Well, that's good. I mean, you know, stability is what pitching staff needs, and you can lead by example, and that's what it's all about.
1-1 to Giovanni Soto. 0 for 2 with a walk, but catching a shutout. It's way outside. Ryan likes pitching in this sort of weather too, as does Rich Harden, who will not pitch again this season. They don't mind the cooler temperatures. Certainly used to that.
You know, that's what makes you stronger. If you play during the hot weather, humidity in the summer, the fall doesn't bother you. It's nice and cool, 55, 60-degree weather. I mean, you shouldn't have any problem getting into those late innings because you should still feel pretty strong.
Along those lines, how did you like pitching in Texas?
Well, I didn't have any problem. Humidity never bothered me. You know, I used to run a lot, stay conditioned, so I think that really helped me. And I used to drink lots of water between innings. And we had a trainer, Bill Ziegler, that used to give us salt tablets. And I used to take those all the time. Now you're not allowed to take salt tablets. So it's a little different.
I used to play, well, of course, all-day games here at Wrigley, but Sunday night games in Texas, right? Because of the heat.
Yeah, Sunday doubleheaders. I mean, I tell you, they used to be good and warm.
2-2 on Soto. Got it. On a fastball. Ferguson Jenkins, a Hall of Famer, on and off the field. Always a pleasure. And again, here's the information if you'd like. We are email accessible. Len and Bob at ChicagoNow.com. You can also tweet us at Twitter.com/Len and Bob. Always like to hear from you.
Well, Len, you piqued my interest. I had to look it up. Fergie Jenkins' numbers the first year he pitched in Texas, 1974. Well, made 41 starts, 29 complete games, an ERA of 2.82, and pitched 328 and a third innings in the heat and humidity down in Texas.
I'd say it didn't bother him.
It didn't bother him a bit.
Switch hitting Neil Walker Third baseman is batting for boot check. And that gets past Hoffpower, who was able to slow it down. And one of the pitchers down there in the bullpen almost picked it up.
It's been an interesting night down in that Pirates bullpen.
Eric Hacker looked like he wanted to reach out and grab that ball, but it was fair.
I mean, you'll occasionally see a security guard or somebody interfere with a batted ball that stays fair down the line, but rarely do you see a player do it. Usually the first thing you do is look at the umpire, see what call he makes, and then either get the heck out of the way or pick it up if it's a foul ball. But he was probably warming up down there, maybe didn't see the sign initially.
McCutcheon 0 for 3. Strike one from Dempster, whose spot is due up. Second in the bottom of the 8th. So we'll see if Blue will give him a chance to finish. As I say that, John Graybo is going to grab a ball in the Cubs pen. This barehanded play by Mike Quade flips it up over the dugout. A former Pirate, John Graybo. He came over in that deal involving Kevin Hart in late July. Way high, 1-2. Detroit held on and beat the Twins 6-5. So they split that day-night doubleheader in Detroit, meaning the Tigers have a 2-game lead. 2 more in that series. Hoffpower lays out and catches it in foul ground. What a play by Micah.
Nicely done. Little jam shot right in on the hands. Not much time to react. That ball was not hit very high in the air, but Micah gets over there in a hurry into foul territory. Nice diving catch.
LaRoche 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. A pop fly. Fontenot drifting over, and it's going to be Hoffpower. Wind is really kicked up.
Yeah, it sure has. Those flags in center field whipping straight in. Fontenot started back where he thought that pop-up was going to come down, and it ended up over at first base for Micah Hoffpower.
The other Mike Fontenot said, I would have had it.
Yeah.
We have eyewitness reports from down in that area that Mike did catch that fan's eye. I would hope appreciates the love, so to speak. It's kind of eerie.
It is.
And now I'm told the guy's name is Mike Fontaines. So it's close.
Okay. Well, they say everybody has a double somewhere out there in the world. That you just don't expect them to show up at the ballpark wearing a uniform.
Right. Somebody's going to ask that guy for an autograph.
Oh, sure.
And the funny thing is, broken bat grounder. You're going to have to wait for my funny thing. 6-0 Cubs. Cubs leading 6-0. Right-hander Eric Hacker will take over on the mound.
Yeah, we're also at that point of the season now, Len, where it's not like we want to shorten Ryan up a little bit so he's fresh for his next start. We're getting down to the very end of it here. So if Ryan Dempster feels like he's got enough gas left in the tank to finish this thing, I think it's absolutely the right move.
Aaron Miles ready if needed as a pinch hitter. His fold bounces just wide of first. So my thought about the Mike Fontenot impersonator is that the guy walks out of the ballpark today or tonight and someone's going to ask him for an autograph thinking he's Mike Fontenot. But the thing is, if he were, he wouldn't have his Cubs cap and Fontenot jersey on. See, now Matt Forte doesn't walk around in his Bears jersey. This is not high school. Whereas on a Friday you wear your jersey to the pep rally.
You didn't make it to the pep rally today?
No, I didn't. I mean, did you walk around San Francisco with your Giants cap on? That's slicing down the line. Millage can't get it. Got a glove on it. And Fold has his third hit. Good effort by Lastings. Millage got leather on it, couldn't put it away, and that's a leadoff double.
And another example of the pinched outfield coming back to haunt the Pirates. A long run for Lasting. Millage. Diving effort, got a glove on it, just couldn't close it around that ball. Leadoff double for Sam Fold. And by the way, I did walk around with my jersey and hat on, so nobody recognized me anyway.
That'd be one good way to get around without people recognizing him. Because they'd say, well, I can't be Bob.
He
wouldn't be wearing his jersey.
I got recognized more in Pittsburgh for somebody I was not than I ever did in San Francisco for who I was.
We're still trying to figure out why Fergie Jenkins, who was on the '69 Cubs, had to buy a '69 Cubs jacket, even though he did get the Hall of Fame discount.
He got the discount.
Kicks away from Jones, but they still get the out. It goes 3-4-1. You know, Fergie should have gotten $31 off instead of 30 in honor of his jersey number. He should have said it's my bobblehead night.
What do you got to do?
Yeah. Oh, the great thing about Fergie is he probably walked in and said, how much is it? Yeah. Okay, he paid for it. No big deal. Whereas I would have said, don't you know who I work with?
Yeah. I know Fergie Jenkins.
Infield in against Terrio. Low and away.
As you watch Hacker, as he goes into his set position, this has become a new phenomenon around baseball. Watch the front foot. Guys used to get their sign, then just come up into a set position and plant their feet. Watch that left foot as he gets his sign. A couple of taps here, a couple of taps there, and then finally comes to a set position. We see Angel Guzman do that with the Cubs. I think Mariano Rivera was probably the first guy that I saw do that consistently, and now you see several pitchers on every staff use that kind of a setup out of the stretch position.
Bottom part of the zone, 3-1. Hacker made his major league debut a week ago against the Reds. Called up on the 8th of this month. Ball 4. The 4th walk for Terrio. So he's been on all 5 times.
Scored twice and was twice caught stealing at second base. Once on a straight steal and once on a 3-2 pitch to Kosuke Fukudome.
Once again, stay tuned for the WGN News. Micah Mater, Mark Sapelsa will have the news. Jim Ramsey with the weather. Dan Roan will have all the sports. One and one. Rockies 3, Brewers 2 in the 6th. As the Cubs cling to their very faint playoff chances. Atlanta trails 5-4. Now it's a final. That's a big loss for the Braves as the Marlins ended Atlanta's 7-game winning streak. 5-4 the final at Turner Field. Let's see who got this one. Oh. Bill Welke.
I don't mean to laugh. Been there, done that. At professional courtesy, Ryan Doman went out to the mound, stalled for a little bit of time just to make sure the home plate umpire was okay.
Ground ball. Young with the backhand flip. Cruz the turn. 4-6-3. And we will head off to the 9th as Ryan Dempster will try to finish it. 6-0 Cubs.
Time now to look at tonight's AM/PM player of the game. It's all about Ryan Dempster tonight. He scattered 5 hits in the ball game, was never really in any trouble against this Pirates lineup. Had all of his pitches working well tonight. Ryan Dempster, our AM/PM player of the game. Too much good stuff.
Now the leash is short because John Graybo is up in the bullpen just in case. As Ryan Doman swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dempster trying to complete a game for the first time since last June 11th against Atlanta in 2008. His last of 2 career shutouts came with Florida in 2001 against a team from Montreal. Baker over. And he has room.
Yeah, and I really think it's a batter-by-batter proposition here in the 9th inning for Ryan Dempster. As long as he mows them down 1, 2, 3, no problems. John Graybo will stay out in that Cubs bullpen, but I think maybe if he gets into a little trouble, gets somebody on base, we may see Lou go down to the left hand.
And Ryan's thing is always inning management. Well, as he managed the innings tonight, the 5 hits, the definition of scattered. He hasn't given up more than 1 hit in any inning. And the Pirates have had 2 on at the same time once. And that was with 2 outs.
Yeah, I was going to say that came with 2 outs in the inning. Yeah. There's just some nights you never feel like you were in any trouble. I mean, Ryan may not feel that way, but watching from the outside, it looked like he's been in total command of this game.
Cubs got early runs. 3 in the first, 3 in the fourth. And the 0-2 swing and a miss. 2 down. Cubs looking for a second complete game shutout in 5 days.
Nasty change up that time from Dempster. I'll tell you what, Len, this performance tonight is big for a bunch of different reasons, but with the doubleheader tomorrow, you never know how much bullpen you're going to need to use in a doubleheader. So to get a complete game or this close to a complete game out of Ryan Dempster is huge tonight.
Back by Moss, and remember, Kevin Gregg, he's done for the rest of the year, even though he's on the active roster. Angel Guzman not available. Carlos Zambrano with a 2-hit shutout on Friday in San Francisco. Dempster's trying for the 5-hit shutout tonight against the Pirates. And with that, it has started to rain very lightly. 1-2. Ted Lilly will go tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time right here on WGN. Carlos Zambrano tomorrow night. 2-2 pitch inside. It's 4. And trying not to get too far ahead of himself.
This is the point of the game where that inning management gets a little tougher. He wants to finish this.
Ground ball, Fontenot to Hawk Power. Cubs win, and Ryan Dempster with a gem. As the Cubs now have beaten the Pirates 7 straight times, he improves to 11.